Hello and welcome to episode 143 of Jobless Weebs. My name is Marco, the Boomerang Mexican, and
Brian.
How are you, Brian?
Doing pretty good. I had a pretty chill week, so I'm looking forward to the weekend.
I don't know if you're just rubbing it off.
I did. I hung out with family, so yeah, it was a very chill week. I gotta say.
Yeah, watching anime.
Yep.
Hanging out with my family, being happy.
Being happy. Oh gosh. Yeah. But yes, it's been pretty good. Finally getting around to watching Free Ren, so that's also really fun. But yeah, some of the anime this season are wacky. Like Failure Frame, all he does is paralyze and poison monsters, so that's a little different. And then, and of course, Days with My Stepsisters. Like, it's even when you look at the other,
Alia expresses her
feelings.
That one is, dude. Like they're throwing like, some
some incest in there. Yeah, seriously. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I was pretty taken aback by the season. So let's go.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah.
Well. You know, this week is the week that I felt less jobless weeb.
Oh, right. 70, almost 80 hours.
Yeah, dude, it's like
it's too
I'm not proud of it, but you know, it needs to get done. Like I need the money to support my expensive hobbies.
Oh, yes.
And they're not that expensive yet. To the point where I want to have them. Because it's like, yeah, right now this is the poor version of my hobbies.
Yeah.
Because like if I were to go deeper, dude, like the only reason of why I don't have a bookshelf full of manga and and light novels is because one, it would be a pain in the butt on the moving, and two, because I can barely fit in here. So
that's pretty valid. Yeah.
Otherwise, I would make it rain with anime stuff and
all the merch.
But you know, I wanted to have this. We're gonna cover another anime movie today that it's just as weird.
Oh yes,
you know, and so the movie that we're talking about today is called Penguin Highway.
Yay!
Released in 2018.
Yep.
And it is wacky, but we have a lot to talk about it. Yeah. Well, it's a short one, but you know, there's a lot to analyze and discuss. Because the first time you watch it, you cannot make sense of it.
It's just for fun. When you watch it for the first time, I saw it. I've probably seen it 3 times now. And I watched it with my brothers. They thought it was a hoot. They laughed at it. I like it too. But yeah, it's definitely one that kind of makes your head kind of explode.
Yeah.
Well, just some
that's
aspects.
A good way of putting it.
It's pretty fun. I like it.
This one starts with the kid. You know, he's reflecting. He's offering kind of like he's introducing himself. He's saying like, hey, I'm really smart even though I'm a kid. Well, I'm not a kid. I'm technically a grown man almost, he says.
Yeah.
You know,
he calculates the time.
Yeah, he's calculating the time that it takes him to be an adult, but he sees himself as a really mature person.
Right.
Like, you know, really knowledgeable, really wise, really he puts himself in a pedestal, you know, up to a point. Really he's a bit narcissistic, or he shows some narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah.
Well, he might not be like looking at himself in the mirror, but he has himself in high regard.
Right, and he also points out that he's learning something every day, and like he is at least looking at himself retrospectively. He's like getting better every day by learning something. But yeah, he is pretty conceited. And I was like, oh yeah, he's very conceited. When he said that he's not conceited, I thought that was a funny part.
Yeah, it's like when you say like,
that's exactly
with a lot of humility, I consider myself being a really simple person. Like,
Yeah.
that was not simple nor humble.
Yeah.
So the same with this little guy. He's Aoyama. He's still in elementary school.
Mhm.
But it's this classic brat that a lot of time it shows in anime.
Oh yes. Still pretty smart. He does really well.
You gotta hand him that. He's smarter. He's really I would say he has eye for detail. And I would say that he has a lot of eye for an special detail.
Oh yes. We can't miss this. So he does have kind of a obsession with
he's a growing kid, but still.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's obsessed with the female body, because we're a PG podcast.
That's right.
We try to, at least. But especially with the female body of a certain dentist assistant. Because he's like, the weird thing is that he's even drawing and
he draws her, so this person, this girl that works at the dentist, is referred to as the lady in the English dub. So I'm guessing it's like One-san.
One-san, on the sub it's One-san.
Yeah.
Like, we never get her name. It's just One-san, or like which I think is wrong. It's the dentist's wife on the sub,
right.
Which take it with a grain of salt, because it is the fan translation. It is not the official translation. So there might be something lost in there. This movie, Penguin Highway, it's really a metaphor of that age going, or that part of your life going from childhood to your teenage years. Especially because this guy is the embodiment of that, since he is really consented. And you have teenagers feeling really consented, feeling like they're grown-ups.
They're conceited.
But at the same time, when it pleases them, they're still kids.
And that point where, as you were saying, it's at the point where he's at the point where he is told, hey, you're still a child, you're still a kid, but he insists, I'm not a child anymore, I'm such and such until I'm an adult, kind of thing. So he's like right at that age. And so we see kind of a small buildup of this movie. He's going around his daily things. He's hanging out with the lady. He has a journal where he keeps writings of his research and his notes, and it's very extensive. There's a lot of questions, a lot of diagrams, and that's where he draws the lady.
The details.
Yes. Oh gosh.
A man of culture.
A man of culture. That's right. And we also notice that he keeps wiggling his loose tooth. So he has a loose tooth that's getting ready to fall out and stuff. And it's a kind of a slow build up. There are a lot of details in this movie.
It's definitely a slow build up. It's so slow that there comes a point where they're skipping days, because it's a lot of the same. Because as we're shown Aoyama's daily life at school, with his friend, with the bullies, with another girl that he certainly has no feelings for, but he mentions her anyways, because she has feelings for him.
Yep, that's right. There's a love triangle. With those three kids. Yeah. So he plays chess with Hamamoto, but he also plays chess with the lady too. And I kind of saw that as a sort of also a metaphor with interactions of the opposite gender, where he's living his life, but he's also interacting with people that he's attracted to in a way. You
could definitely say that.
Oh yeah.
And we see all of these connections that he has because he also he has a family. His mom and sister, they don't show a lot of. I mean, they interact like normal. He has a lot more, a more profound discussion with his dad on several occasions that we're gonna talk about.
Oh yes.
But yeah, this is how it starts, and then suddenly, well, across his daily life, penguins start appearing.
Yep.
Out of nowhere, and people is freaking out a little bit because first they find it funny, like, oh, penguins, but then they're seeing that when they're trying to move these penguins that apparently escaped from somewhere, they're trying to send them back, then they disappear, and things are disappearing, and some things are getting weirder and weirder. This is the other metaphor that I was talking about, that when you're a child, everything seems so simple, so straightforward, but then things start changing that you don't understand why, and you don't really need to understand why. You just need to accept it, kind of like at least when you're on those years, on those tender years.
Even though it is hard, it is tough.
But Aoyama, he is not so adept with the idea of just like, hey, weird things happen. That's all right.
Right. He documents it, and he tries to get to the heart of the matter. Like, why is this happening? And he cannot let it go. He comes up with a few ideas, like they're out from the zoo, or like they're migrating, or like there's tons of other things. He comes up with these ideas, but he starts documenting them. And his best friend he hangs out with, Uchida, he goes around with him to like figure out where they're coming from. And it's kind of a funny thing. They're also trying to figure out the source of a river that's going through the town. And they also are like researching let's see. So far, that's it. They're researching that. But yeah, these penguins, it looks like they're migrating, but they're not supposed to be there. He also hangs out with the lady. He kind of notices one thing where she throws up a can and then it turns into a penguin. And that's really, really weird because, that's supernatural. But he kind of gets the idea of, hey, like, we're going to try to document this and figure out why it's happening with her. And so he does a few experiments. And at that time, that's when she also helped him get rid of his tooth. I thought that was kind of a funny detail. Just like out of the blue, she just, comes up with an idea to...
Yeah, you like just tie a string and it's like... And he's like...
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but a lot of his research starts involving... her, because she was already part of his research in a different way.
In a different way, right. But now,
but now she's in the center of it. She's the nucleus of that, of why is this happening, because then they do more experiments then and nothing happens. They're just throwing objects.
Exactly.
And we're going really fast because we're doing this time, we're doing just highlights. There's a portion in the movie when they are playing chess at the cafe and it's at night, and bats start to spawn.
Oh, yep.
And they're freaking out and
from the chess pieces, they turn into bats.
And he's like, wait a second. I see a pattern here, and this is one of his strong points, that he has some very good eye for detail. Yeah. And he starts just documenting a lot more what is happening. He starts calling it penguin energy, that the penguins need to be, within a certain radius of the, I would say you call it like village or the town. Because when they move too far away from the town, even when the lady moves far away from the town, she feels lethargic and tired.
Yeah, kind of sick. And yeah, as you said, like there's a penguin they try to take away from the town, and same thing happens to the lady. It kind of weirded me out at the first time when I was watching this, because it's not regular regular happenstances. These are like weird things that are happening, and then also I like the string of thought also for the lady with the Jabberwocky, because that goes into like the monster that comes out and is terrorizing the penguins, um, and that's kind of like a metaphor of her fears or an embodiment of her fears.
It's nice that you mentioned the Jabberwockers,
Ah,
because
yes.
the classmate from our the girl
Ah, yeah,
that
Hamamoto.
Hamamoto,
Mhm.
she also found something really strange, that it's like a water sphere, like in a meadow.
Yeah.
And
And it's just floating in the air. That weirded me out, especially since I've seen the movie Sphere. That was such a trip. It was such a scary movie. It's an alien contact movie where these astronauts encounter a sphere, and then they basically become God when they encounter it or touch it. But then they also like die for some reason. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. So this sphere, um, it's basically Hamamoto's project. She's trying to figure out what's happening, how it uh, goes through the course of the days through its like growth or reduction periods. But then, yeah, she invites basically Aoyama and Uchida to like continue the experiments with her. So now they are. So now they kind of do the research together for this part.
yeah, their little project together,
Yep.
which meant a lot for her, but not
Not
so
so
much
much for
for
him.
Aoyama.
Yep.
Because Aoyama ended up putting his own research on pause, and
Yeah.
just to help with this one. But then
Yeah.
they made a few experiments, like sending that
Oh,
Lego rocket
yes.
through it.
Yep. To
And
measure the temperature. I'm not
yeah,
exactly sure.
they were measuring something, and it
Yeah.
never came back. And I was like,
Yep.
oh, okay, good to know. And
right. It's like
I'm probably like just dissing it way more than what I should.
It's okay.
But,
It's okay. Yeah, it's kind of a weird part. It's really weird. This thing is now taking their attention and is the center of their research. And yeah, it's like something beyond belief, really.
right, and again, going
Oh,
forward, there comes a point where the bully ends up following them, and he almost dies. Well, he gets attacked by the sea, because this is how they call the sphere. They call it the sea.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't because of the lady that she got there with her penguins
yes.
to save the day, because the penguins started destroying these huge droplets of water or of the sea.
Yeah.
And save the kid. And things get a little complicated, because so far this is just a whimsical adventure of kids.
Right, yeah.
But then it has like a dark turn, because freaking adults get involved.
Yep.
And I also saw this as going back to the metaphor that even though adults have gone through childhood and teenage years, it's not the same for everyone. So I remember a lot of adults telling me when I was younger, like, oh no, you're gonna go through this and this and this, how you do it. It's like, and that's exactly what did not happen.
Did not happen, and it didn't work that way. Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's that idea that we've probably mentioned throughout a lot of others. Adults are in their own world and kids are in their own world, type of thing. But yeah, Hamamoto, she's very adamant to keep the research just to themselves and not have adults
Or the lady.
or the lady.
Mainly the lady.
Mainly, that's true.
'Cause she's jealous.
She is jealous. Yeah, that's the reason she's jealous. Yeah, to intrude onto their research and their goings on. Yeah, she has a crush on Aoyama for sure, for sure.
Just like the bully has a crush on
Hamamoto.
Hamamoto.
Yep.
But yeah,
gosh
you know,
dang.
this is the part where adults get involved. The bully does what a bully does.
Yeah.
He finds one of those monsters of the representation of the fear of the lady. That it was kind of like a little one, not like the big ones that was eating the penguins. And that's when the adults started like digging more and more.
Yeah.
And
then there's the typhoon warning that evacuates almost everybody. But yeah, the adults, they start to intrude on their stuff.
Yeah, and you know, a part of me thinks that the typhoon was originated because
because of the lady?
Yeah, because of the lady as
Really?
well.
Maybe.
Because you know, like the lady is enigmatic. The lady is
Probably.
also part of the metaphor, but
yes.
but you know,
Yeah.
she also had her stuff, or you know, she was dealing with some stuff.
Oh yes.
And again, we're going really fast.
Oh, we are. Yeah, we're skipping so much. You gotta watch the anime. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Well, the thing is that if we describe it like we normally do with other anime movies, it is hard because there's just like a lot of wacky things and
yeah,
a lot of things that are really hard to describe because it was more of a visual and more like an everything representation other than us telling you like, oh, this is what happens.
Oh yes, that's true.
You know, especially like this is one of those movies that you're like, yeah, you.
It's where this kid is exploring his world in an adventurous way without really doing a lot of like stuff.
Yeah.
He more of like thinks to himself. Yeah. And that's hard to describe. That's true.
and you know the thing is
true.
that when All in All ends, he didn't do anything.
You
like
know,
things happen.
Now that you mentioned it,
things happen and he was there.
He doesn't do much.
Things happen and he was there. Yeah, like
he was like a witness to it.
Yeah. Because you know, he had a few conclusions and hypotheses and this and that, but like he didn't really do anything. He was just there expecting, like you know, expectating.
Yeah,
you know,
observing. Very much so.
Because after the typhoon, Hamamoto's dad gets swallowed by the sea.
Yeah,
along with some other researchers.
Yep, they disappear into the ocean, just like the spaceship Lego that they sent in. And so everybody.
You know, we should talk about what the dad said to him because that happened a little bit before that, but I think it's crucial for this portion.
Yeah,
because again, as we said, in comparison to his mother or little sister, he has a different relationship with his dad. It's a lot deeper because he feels comfortable talking with his dad about stuff, which you know it's kind of strange for a teenager.
Right.
but you know his dad is it's this chill dude that it's like you know let's think about it, like keep doing your research. And he mentioned something about like, do you think that we can have the world inside this pocket? And he's like, well, no. He's like, well, what if you do this?
And he turns it inside out and then shows it to him. And then he says, the world is inside the bag now. Kind of. And then he kind of just shows him the opening, which is now the inside. Well, outside turned inside.
Yeah, which it's a lot of it is a matter of perspective of how you see
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
That is like, okay, we all know that the world is not inside, but it's now a different way to look at what's happening,
Yeah.
which
Different perspective.
gives him an idea to get the lady to give her security, because she was feeling insecure. She was her fears were making these monsters.
Yeah, manifestations of her fear, basically.
But
Right.
but then she
And that
won.
was one of the things she asked for him from him was, "Hey, if you solve my mystery, I'll take you to the sea. Like, I'll take you to the town that I grew up from."
Yeah, because she was like,
Yeah.
I'll take you to the sea city.
Mm-hmm.
Which they were going on the train when she became lethargic.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, maybe she already knew that she was not a person or a
Right.
human.
Right.
And when she was like, I said I'll take you to the sea. It's like they literally went to the sea, to the sphere that they were calling the sea.
They did, yeah.
And it was these. The explanation that they gave is like, the sea is like, it's like a black hole, or it's like something missing.
Yeah, and I think so. I watched it in the English dub, and they described it, or at least his thoughts was, at the edge of the world. Like, what do you find? Well, you can't really go to the edge of the world since the world is round, but you could go to like outer space, which is more of the edge of the world. And then the ocean, or like the sea, the floating water, is kind of like a hole where the sea is, but that the world is kind of like turned inside out. It was really weird. The anime probably describes it better, but yeah,
right.
And now that we are on the subject, I remember watching a YouTube video on like stars and outer space and stuff, and they said, if we were in a black hole, like everything, the observable universe, all the equations would be the same. And kind of thinking of it that way, the in this movie, the sea is kind of like that edge of the world. It's a hole. Kind of a weird idea.
Yeah, that was like the inside out of the little pouch. But yeah, they go to inside the sea with the penguins. They rescue the doctor and the other adults. They go back and things go back to normal.
Oh yes. Normal.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, this is the part of like, things like when you grow up, strange things happen. Not all of them have an explanation.
Yeah.
And or maybe they do, but it's like for some parts, or rather, a lot of things that you feel don't have an explanation. Like emotion wise. Because it's like, it's not something that you can touch, or like, it's not something that you can see. So like, emotion wise is like, a lot of times you cannot explain it. And and that was it with the movie, because even the ending was a little strange.
The lady is gone. She
they were at the cafe. And then she's like, you know what, if you figure things out, come look for me, or find me. And I just believe, again, it was this coming of age story of Aoyama now going to adolescence, and the lady was a part of it, a part of like this, maybe a part of a new I forgot the word. A part of a new step in your life, maybe from adolescence to adulthood.
Yeah.
But, you know,
And we
because even from
experience-
adolescence to adulthood, it's you experience a lot of changes as well. Like your body,
True.
it's not functioning the way it used to as well.
True, yeah.
So-
yeah, a lot of things change. Yeah, for him, all of that, all of his interactions, they start to be just a memory, and he has to deal with that kind of in his past, but also looking forward in the future. I hope he finds her. That's what I would like to think.
Right.
Anime, a lot of the time, is very open-ended. That's the cool thing about anime.
And that's how we sort of complain about anime. Right?
Right.
It's
Like in Your Name especially. Oh my gosh, how could they do that? Yeah, so true, so true.
Yeah, because even when they end, they don't end. Like, God damn it.
Yeah. For real. But yeah, I liked it. It was a great movie. It's
Well,
really great
I
for
guess,
summer.
you know, one last comment.
Oh yeah.
The Penguin Highway was a cycle.
Oh yes.
Because
Ah.
that was it. Like, you know, it was going around. And,
Right.
you know, again, another metaphor at life. That
That's
is
right.
like...
There's no beginning, there's no end. We just keep going. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was a weird part about the river, especially because that was like a throw. It almost seems like a throwaway, but it actually does connect because of what you just said. Yeah,
Yeah.
quite interesting, quite fascinating.
But yeah, great movie. Yeah, go watch it. It's in Crunchyroll. It's available on Crunchyroll or other means. You can buy it. You can buy it. You can buy it.
Yes. I bought it. It's really cool. Love it.
All right, yeah. Thank you for watching this episode.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Matane.
Matane.